This is Terry Albada, and welcome to Eczema Phoenix, where we learn how to transform the way we live with eczema. Today's video is about my experience using traditional Chinese medicine to clear out my eczema. So in 2004, I experienced my first death in the family, which was my godfather. The stress of that put my body through a whole body shock. I became a human rash from head to toe. If I had eczema, it grew exponentially at that time. I was a sophomore in college. I was also just trying to, have a good GPA, and I was very involved with other extracurricular activities. I had a lot of stress and things that I put on my plate. And so came to a breaking point where the steroids I was using for 15 years prior to that, since the age of 5, stopped working while I was in this body shock. And I had to find other ways to heal naturally because the steroids hadn't been cutting it, and they hadn't fully cured my eczema rashes at all for 15 freaking years. Don't wait. If it doesn't work after a month, I honestly would just look elsewhere and start looking at natural ways to heal. Don't even give it a month, honestly. So when I started looking for natural cures, Chinese medicine came up in my Google searches. Through a series of miraculous events, my mom introduced me to who would become my miracle worker. And after, honestly, the first appointment, taking the herbs, doing the tea, the super bitter stinky teas, using the handmade herbal ointments that she made with Chinese herbs, I was honestly 75% better after the first appointment, 75% better. And it progressed over time, over the course of 6 years. Keep in mind, I had been having eczema and on steroids for 15 years, so I think that a 6-year treatment that ended up in a full clear remission and me not ever having to go back to any kind of any kind of drugs or synthetic products at all to heal my eczema long term naturally is a win. 6 years versus 15 years. I mean, those 6 years were painful, but they were on the path to healing. I'll take that. And so the way it was I had 75% improvement after the first week, and that was amazing. And then after that, I started seeing her weekly. And it was expensive, but the progress was worth it. And after about 3 months, I noticed that I just needed to see her maybe every other week. And then maybe after 6 months, I just started seeing her once a month. And then, came a year, maybe I was seeing her quarterly after a few years, because it would go in and out. Mostly, the only thing that was really holding me back, the herbs were totally working. There's no question about that. She knew what she was doing. She, was a specialist in dermatology as well as Chinese medicine. But it was my diet. It was sticking to the elimination diet, antihistamine diet that she laid out for me, and me avoiding the food and the triggers that I knew I had, which were dairy, alcohol, seafood at the time, tomatoes, and those types of foods. I didn't even have to avoid gluten or anything like that. And I just know that if I had stuck to her plan, did the diet to the way that she recommended that I do it, along with the herbs, I probably would have healed even faster. I mean, who knows, maybe even just in 3 years instead of 6 years. But I had a lot to detox, having had eczema and steroids for over a decade. And by the 6th year, I think I had just gone to see her once a year until I just was really just self-managing, and I had no need to see her anymore. And she didn't even try to follow up with me because she could see the progress that I was making naturally, taking her advice, and then also along those 6 years learning more about natural healing and healthy eating, healthy living, holistic health, meditation, yoga, the importance of balance and not being a workhorse all the time, stress management. And that was just so incredible. And the whole time I was taking those stinky bitter herbs, I was taking whatever tea she wanted me to take. And I think after about maybe after the 2nd or 3rd year, she stopped giving me like the dried herbs, and we went to powders, which were still potent but probably not as intensely purging and detoxing as the dried herb teas were. And it was just good to see that progress, and sometimes they were in capsule form, but I just want to say, like, for me it really worked. And so when people tell me Chinese medicine doesn't work, I want to ask either how long did you do it for, and maybe to question the practitioner. Maybe you didn't have an experienced or well-skilled practitioner who really knows how to treat the skin. And I've met a couple in my life who've been really true miracle workers and really knew what they were doing, and they helped me out, and I'm grateful they came into my life. I'm happy I found them, and that I was open to healing, whatever it took, to do whatever it took to heal naturally and completely and truly. Because what I like about Chinese herbs, or herbs in general, is that they boost your organs. They are supposed to clear you of toxins, and they make your organs stronger. They make your body function better. Because of the enzymes and the active botanical extracts that they have, they help you become stronger. They're supposed to refortify you, unlike drugs that are just isolated and synthetic and just focus on one thing and not taking in the entire system of systems that you have that do work together. Like the nervous system, you got nerves all over your body. You think it's just going to affect one of your organs or one of your body systems, one of your bodily functions? I don't think so. So that is my experience with Chinese medicine. Give it a shot. Find a good practitioner. Ideally, my advice for finding a good Chinese medicine practitioner so far has been Chinese people from China who studied Chinese medicine there, as well as dermatology. And dermatology, they could have gotten the degree in China or maybe another Western country. But having those two specialties, but really learning Chinese medicine in China, in that whole culture is like really, really important. They just seem to have a much deeper wisdom that I have experienced and that I've seen results for with my skin. I'm not saying that you can't have that in a Western country or with a non-Chinese person, but so far in my experience, that's what's been helpful for me. Or maybe the person, went to China. Maybe it's just like a non-Chinese person who went to China to study Chinese medicine. They really got it in and got it, that deep wisdom as well. And then they studied dermatology or some sort of like skin specialty course or certificate or program, and they really are getting results. Then that could work as well. But yes, that particular modality in the country of origin just really has something that has really worked for me multiple times, because I also used it for my spiderbite infection at first before doing like the rest of the natural lifestyle stuff that I do now to maintain it. Hope this was informative. Let me know if you have any questions, like if you like this video, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.